I can't say, I can say William Daroff and Malcolm Hoenlein and Betsy that you probably know, you've been around parts of the 50 years of the Conference of Presidents. I think that I've addressed it 18 times in 18 of your annual conferences. So, and we've had obviously a very close bond before that during my diplomatic years of diplomatic service in the United States. So I have many friends here, long-standing friends. I appreciate the friendship, not only the personal one, but obviously the commitment to Israel and to the Jewish people. I think you come here at a pivotal moment in our history. I've just come back from a historic visit to Washington with President Trump. I can categorically say that I don't think there was any more consequential meeting of a prime minister and a president than this meeting, because we are reshaping the Middle East. We've reshaped it in the year that followed the horrible massacre that we experienced in October 7th. It was seen that Israel was on the ropes, we wouldn't recover, that the plan to destroy Israel, to encircle it, choke it, and kill it was progressing, but within a year and some months, the courage of our soldiers, the stalwart position of our people, and the decisions that we made turned things around. We decimated much of Hamas. We haven't finished the job. We will. Israel will destroy Hamas's military and government capabilities. Gaza will look differently. We also turned to the north after we destroyed the bulk of Hamas's military power. We turned to the north and decimated Hezbollah. I think they were surprised by a few things. We knocked out Nasrallah. We knocked out Def. We knocked out Sinwar. We knocked out their senior military commanders. And we created a new reality. Lebanon is now undergoing a change in the reality. The Syrian proxy of Iran, which formed the continuum from Iran to the Mediterranean, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, the Assad regime collapsed. It collapsed because, not because Assad's army was unable to fight. He wasn't relying on them. He was relying on 15 to 20,000 Hezbollah fighters who were not available. There was no one to lead them because Nasrallah was gone. They themselves were mauled by us, so they couldn't save him. Iran wanted to send forces to save him from Iran. We stopped that. We didn't get any flowers from Damascus, I have to say, but it's okay, we can take it. But we changed the Middle East. We changed the Middle East. Now comes President Trump, and Secretary Rubio is a great friend of Israel as well. I've seen him over the years, and we had a great discussion today. And we talked about how do we complete the change in the Middle East. We have the greatest friend of Israel in the White House now. We see eye to eye on the main tasks that we have to accomplish. And we're in a position to change the Middle East and give Israel the kind of horizon, the kind of hope, the kind of security, and the kind of peace that would have been unimaginable, and in fact was unimaginable from the day of the founding of the State of Israel. We've had great victories in the past. The most important one was the Six-Day War. But the possibilities that loom today before us have never been before us before, have never been available to us as they are now. And we intend to pursue them to the full. We see eye to eye with the U.S. administration, President Trump and his administration, first of all, on accomplishing the immediate three goals that we have in Gaza. One is to achieve the release of all our hostages. The second, as I said, is to destroy Hamas. The third is to ensure that Gaza has a different future, that we don't just go back, same old, same old, same old. And there I have to say that President Trump has presented a bold new vision, and the only plan that I think can work to enable a different future for the people of Gaza for the people of Israel, for the surrounding areas. Why not give Gazans a choice? Everybody said this is the largest open-air prison in the world. Not because of us. We let people leave. In fact, if you want to know, over the last couple of years, 2 years I think, 150,000 Gazans left. You know how they left? Because they bribed their way out, not to us. They bribed their way out. The rich could leave. But if other people wanted to leave, give them a choice. Not forcible eviction, not ethnic cleansing. In a war zone, people leave. We try to get the population to leave, to get them out of harm's way in Hamas with rifles, with gunfire, try to prevent them from leaving. So we move them around so that they would get out of harm's way. But if people want to leave, if they want to emigrate, it's their choice. And I think President Trump's plan is right on the dot. It's the right plan. So that's Gaza. In Lebanon, we've established a ceasefire, as you know, after removing Hezbollah that had planned a ground invasion even worse than Hamas, from terror tunnels and other infrastructure, underground infrastructure that they put right next to our border. We got rid of that. And we said to the Lebanese, now it's your job to make sure that Hezbollah is dismantled and certainly doesn't threaten Israel anymore. We welcome the ceasefire. We welcome President Aoun's presidency. And I hope that the Lebanese army, reconstituted, does the job. But if it doesn't, we will do the job. We have decided on a policy of continuous enforcement. We will not let those violations take place, and we will not let Israel or Israeli targets or Israeli soldiers, you can clap, by attacking us from Lebanon. That has ended. With Syria, we are committed to ensuring that once we've removed Syria as a threat to Israel, it doesn't become again a threat to Israel. For that important purpose, we also destroyed the remnants of the armaments, not the remnants, the bulk of the armaments of Assad's army. It's gone. You know where we took that, which leaf we took that from? Do you know? Well, there was a naval presence in the Mediterranean in World War II. In the Vichy regime, and Churchill was concerned that this naval presence would fall in the hands of the Nazi regime in Berlin, so he ordered the destruction of that French Navy. And I think 1,200 soldiers, French soldiers, were lost, and it was a tragic thing. I don't know how many Syrian soldiers we killed. I think a handful, maybe. But we got rid of the armaments of the Assad regime. We will not allow Syria to be used again as a staging ground for attacks against Israel. Now, all this has been done to date, but of course there remains a principal problem, and that problem is the source of all these attacks against us, all this aggression against us, and that source is one country. It's Iran. It's not merely a country. Kissinger said Iran has to choose, is it a country or a cause? Well, it's definitely a cause, and it's a bad cause. It's a theological, well, it's a, I would say, a theological thuggery. I mean, they hold the people of Iran hostage. They deny them the basic facilities, the basic means of water. They have a huge water shortage. I once offered to give them Israeli technology. I put that on a video. I got millions of responses from Iran, millions. Of course, the Iranian government wouldn't think of it, wouldn't think of doing something really productive for their people. They spent tens of billions of dollars in Syria, on Lebanon, on Hamas, on the Houthis. We're dealing with them too. They did nothing for their people. And Iran's GDP has hardly grown. Ours has gone through the roof. Have you been to Tel Aviv recently? See the skyscrapers? The high-rise? You know how many we had in Tel Aviv about 25 years ago? You know how many? One? No, two. Actually two. And that's changed. It's changed because we did something for this country. We embarked on a free market revolution that changed the economy of Israel, made it a powerhouse, basically a technological powerhouse in the world. Iran did nothing for their people. They hold them hostage, they shoot them, they torture them, they subjugate them. So Iran is not merely a threat to us, it's a threat to their people. But they are a threat to Israel, a threat to every country in the region, and a threat beyond our region because they're the greatest sponsor of terror in the world. The greatest threat that Iran poses is that this decrepit regime would achieve nuclear weapons. And we are committed, as President Trump has said many times, and as Secretary Rubio said today, we are committed that Iran never gets nuclear weapons. That is a common goal, and one that is important not only for the security of Israel and the security of America, but I think for the security of the world. So we have a big agenda before us, and I know that you support it. I think all these achievements that we've made so far would have been impossible without the extraordinary sacrifice and bravery of our soldiers, those who fell, and those who continue the fight. I quoted many times the line in the Bible that says, "They shall rise like lions. They have risen like lions. They fight like lions, and they will win like lions." We are seeking victory, nothing short of victory, and it's within our reach. There is another front that I'm sure you're familiar with, and that is the lawfare that is waged against us. It's waged in these forums like the ICC and the ICJ, the so-called International Court of Justice, the so-called International Criminal Court. It's absurd. It targets Israel just the way the UN General Assembly or the so-called Human Rights Commission of the UN, they have more resolutions against Israel in these bodies than the rest of the world combined. So they're completely politicized. They're absurd. To people shouldn't take them seriously, but I take them seriously in the sense that they threaten the ability of any democracy to defend itself. I would say that the greatest threat against Israel is, of course, the Iran and its nuclear ambitions and the Iran axis that we've smashed. But we have to take care of this larger threat. But not an equal threat, but not far below down the list, is the ICC's effort to strangle the ability of our soldiers and our statesmen to defend the country. They will determine if we can fight, whether we can fight. They can arrest our soldiers, they can arrest our leaders at any point. And this is as debilitating as many other things that are directed against us. We have to fight it. But it's not just directed against us. It's directed against the United States. It's directed against all the democracies, because if you arrogate by an unelected body, you arrogate the right of a country to defend itself, you are hampering the right of self-defense, which is the most important right that a country can have. If you cannot defend yourself against enemies sworn to your destruction, then you are sitting duck. Well, we're not sitting ducks. We will deal with the ICC, we'll deal with the ICJ, and we're doing that with American support. We're dealing with that with your support. Why aren't you applauding? Thank you. That's important. So for all these reasons, I think that these are important days for the Jewish state and the Jewish people. The Jewish people have come since the war began, under terrific anti-Semitic attacks. Those attacks typically escalate historically, as my father has taught me. They typically escalate historically in those moments when the Jews are perceived as weak. And they go down very quickly when the Jewish people is perceived as strong. We were perceived perhaps wrongly by our enemies as weak and as ready for the slaughter. But I think today everybody recognizes that Israel has never been as strong as it is now. The American-Israeli alliance has never been as strong as it is now, and the Jewish people have never been as strong as they are now. And that strength is based on our partnership. It's based on the resolve of our people. It's based in our belief in our great traditions. It's based on our faith in our past, in the future as well. And I think that together, greatest days are still before us. So I hope that next time that we meet, come back next year, you'll see the difference, even greater differences than you see now. I look forward to your next 50 years. Thank you, friends. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and hit subscribe to stay updated with our latest content. Until next time, stay informed and inspired. This is Dejobnik signing off.